This video is going to walk you through processing your data once you have entered it into Sheets. So we got our Buggy Lab data here. Hopefully you have all your groups posted here, and the names will show up here. You've entered your data here. So I'm going to take my data here and I'm going to highlight it, drag to highlight it, and then I can go copy. Again, Control C in just about any device will copy it as well. I'm going to go over to Desmos. So I've got Desmos opened here. I have an untitled graph. We always want to save it, so make sure you're logged in. If you haven't logged in, create an account, use your school email or anything you want, but just make sure you can get back to it. So I've got an untitled graph. Before you do anything, title it. So I'm going to say Buggy Lab, Mr. T, just so the name of it and your name, and then what it would be even better would be period 0. What period are you in? That'll help me as well when I look at it. So I've got that saved. Now any work I do will be saved. Now to paste your work, all you got to do is go here and we should be able to paste it. I don't see the paste option there, but I'm going to do Control V, which is like a paste bottle, and I go Control V, and now I've got all my data straight from here. Notice 0.2 to 6.48. We've got the same here, 0.2 to 6.48. Next thing you want to do is set up your graph so it looks nice. So let's go up here to the wrench, and we want to take the x-axis, and we know on the x-axis that was our times. So I'm going to give that a label. Use the units always. And the y-axis, that was our position. And we measure that in meters. And now you want to look and see, what is the range of your data? Again, in Desmos, you can drag this around a bit, but you can also go up here and automatically set it. So my x-axis data goes from 0 to 2.6. So I'm going to go a little bit behind that. Let's go negative 0.5. So I'm a little bit behind it. And I go to 2.6. Let's go to 3.5. Give it some space to look at. So now I can see all my data there. And I've got a pretty good y-axis. If I wanted to go back and change that, again, I'm going up to 8. So maybe I could say negative 2 to 10. Give it some nice round numbers to 10. And there I have it all set. So I've got my data in here now. The next thing I want to do is that looks like a straight line. So if you remember from math, the equation for a straight line is y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to go down here to the next section, and I'm going to say y equals mx plus b. And you'll notice it says, do you want to have a slider here? So we want to give a slider for each. That's going to allow us to change that m and b until we get something that fits that line really well. So I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to say, give me a slider for all of them. Let me show you one other trick. I'm going to save this now really quick, just because before I go away, I want to make sure it's saved. Desmos does not auto-save, but it will warn you if you're going to close if it's not saved. It will warn you. So let me go back over here. This is my red card data, right? So I'm going to go back here, and if I click and hold on this, I can change the color. So let's make it red. Might as well make them match, right? So now I'm going to look at my slope here. I can now, because this is a slider, if I'm right here, I can drag the slider back and forth, and that's going to change the slope, right? So that's looking almost lined up with that. If I change the y-intercept, I can bring it up closer. That's looking pretty good match there. I know this is somewhere near 7, so let me go, oops, that was 7. I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to say, let me make this go from only my slider. I want to be able to fine tune it. So let's say I want to go from 6.5 to 7.5. And the step is each time you tweak it, how much does it move? So let's say 0.05. Okay. And now when I move that, I can go a little bit higher, a little bit lower. Up here, the same thing. Here my slope looks like it's somewhere around 0.2. So let's go back on this. I just click in here, and let's make the minimum negative 0.25 and the maximum negative 0.15. So now I've got, and let's go a step by, again, I usually do half of that. So 0.005 will mean it takes 2 steps to go from 0.15 to 0.16. okay, and click anywhere else to get out of that. Now I can move the slider, and notice it changes it just a little bit. So I want to find what's the best fit line. Again, it may not go through all of them. I got one here a little bit low, one a little bit higher. So we're looking for something. Can I bring that down just a tad? And it may look better. Oh, now I got too many above, right? So that one looks like it's a little bit below. You may see that. That's your goal, is to come up with this. And now you've got the slope. Here's our graph. We've got labels on the axes, and we've got a slope and y-intercept here. I'm going to save it. Now we want to add the blue buggy data. So we're going to bounce back over to our sheet. And now I've got some fake blue buggy data in here. Again, I can copy that. I'm going to do Control-C for copy. And up here, we're going to go over, and here's, if I click here, I get a new data table, and I just, again, Control-V as in Victor for the paste bottle. And now I've got my blue buggy, and this one turned out to be blue. That's good. So again, there's our graph. Now notice it went a little bit further here. So my x-axis went up to 3.5. I want to extend that a little bit further now. I've got some additional data. So let's go up to 4.5. Why not? Okay. So now I can see all of my data points. So now down here, I'm going to add an equation for a line again. So I'm going to say y equals, now here's a word of caution. You've already used m and b above, so you can't use them again. So let's use nx plus c. So instead of the slope being m, it's going to be n, and the y-intercept is going to be c. Again, add a slider for those. Oh, it made it a purple line. Well, we know that should be blue. Let's make it blue. Again, let's go back with our slope. That looks somewhat close. Bring it back up here. That's looking closer again. Somewhere around 5. So I can go back in here and let's say go from 4.5 to 5.5 with a step of 0.05. And my slope, my n, is somewhere near 0.1. So let's go for negative 0.1. So let's go from negative 0.15 to 0.05 and step by there. Okay, now we should be able to get this lining up kind of nice. And so again, you're just going to tweak these around until you feel like, okay, that's the best line that fits it. So again, we've got red. I've got both the dots and the line in red. I've got blue, both the dots and the line in blue. And I've got a decent graph. I've got my time in seconds here. I've got my position in meters here. I'm going to save it because I don't want to lose my work. You've got your slope and y-intercept there, your slope and y-intercept down here. Now you're going to share this with me. So if you go up here to the share button, it gives you a link, and you're just going to copy that, and that's what you're going to submit to me. If you want to print it out for any reason, you can do that. Export just gives you a specific image, but you just want to share that with me. Okay, so that's about all there is to it. Remember, everybody needs to do your data in a Desmos graph. So graphs are individual. All right, hope that helps.